here every year, attracted by its sandy beaches and wildlife, but also because of its reputation as one of the holiest places in Britain. Today, this tiny tidal island is a center of Christian pilgrimage, a haven for reflection and prayer. But back in the 7th century, when the first monastery was built here, far from being a place of retreat or isolation, this was the center of a vibrant missionary network, spreading the Christian message so successfully that Lindisfarne became known as Northern Britain's cradle of Christianity. 1,300 years on, it continues to inspire those who come here. With my feet firmly on dry land, I meet Christian artists influenced by the Celtic saints of Lindisfarne and discover the poignant story behind a new piece of stained glass for the ancient parish church, while Christian band Iona perform in the Priory ruins. Lindisfarne's Christian story began with an Irish monk called Aidan, who came to the island in the year 635 to build the monastery. He travelled nearly 250 miles from the monastery of St. Columba on the Scottish island of Iona. He wasn't the first to bring Christianity to this part of the world. The Romans had done that before him. But by then, many people had gone back to their pagan roots. Aidan walked tirelessly from village to village, talking to people he met about the Christian faith. It's believed St. Mary's Parish Church here stands on the site of that first monastery established by Aidan 1,300 years ago. And it's where we begin our songs of praise, with a hymn based on the words of Psalm 23 and set to a tune named after St. Columba of Iona. Paul Collins moved here from Sussex 18 months ago to become vicar of St. Mary's Parish Church. This is a very different sort of parish, though, isn't it? Was it what you expected when you got here?
I'm not sure I quite knew what to expect. It's certainly very much more complex, I think, than I originally had anticipated, which is wonderful because it always keeps you on your toes. You've got a parish, you've got ministry to the people who come and stay here, you've got ministry to the day visitors, and then you've got ministry such as organising pilgrimages. So there's all sorts of things happening all the time.
And I suppose you never know really who's going to be in your congregation or how many people there are.
No, it all depends on the tides, and we can have sometimes just 2 of us, then 20 or 30 or 100 sometimes. So.
From all over the world?
All over the world, yes. But often, of course, it's just a single meeting, and that's a great challenge. How do you speak to people of Christ and welcome people, and they're just here for an hour or just in the church for one act of worship?
You'll know that it's often referred to here as a thin place, where the space between heaven and earth is quite narrow. Is there a particular spirituality to it?
I think that's a conjunction of the history, the sense of the spiritual history of the place, and the sort of spirituality of the Northern Saints going back to Aidan. So that was when they went to Norham, which is just across the way.
There's a very large bead, isn't it?
We know that God is everywhere and God is always all around us, but we need moments and places that remind us of that and really bring that home to us. I think what people are really trying to get at is, in a sense, something akin to the sacraments. So just like the bread and wine of communion, where we can say God comes to us and touches us, I think Holy Island is a bit like that for many people. It's a place where they find the reality of God, and the reality and sense of God is refreshed for them.
The island of Lindisfarne and its early saints have been a source of inspiration for many, including a group of Christian musicians who came together in the late 1980s to form the band Iona. Tell me about the first time that you came to Lindisfarne together, because that had quite an impact on you, didn't it?
We were doing some gigs up north, and heading down south again, Dave suggested that we would, do a little stopover in Lindisfarne. And we went for a walk around the rocks. And we just sat down. It was a beautiful evening, and we were looking at where the monks used to sit and pray. And I was just listening to the birds and looking at the seaweed, and I just thought, oh, there were song lyrics here, and I didn't have a pen or paper, so between us we had a pen and we had a paper napkin that thankfully hadn't been used from the pub where we had lunch. So I started to write the lyrics on this paper napkin, and that became the song Lindisfarne.
You're here to perform again. What's it like for you when you come back together here as a band? What does the island mean to you now?
In some ways, it's like coming home. It's really just the connection with St Aidan and St Cuthbert and the incredible lives of faith they lived that still sort of resonates in this area. So whenever we come up here, it's not just experiencing the beautiful landscapes, but it's really that connection to hundreds of years of the faith and prayers that have been said on this island. So it's quite a magical place to be.